Hi, I'm Texas Congressman Kevin Brady. Can you imagine working your whole life to build up a nest egg or a family business, only to see Uncle Sam swoop in to take more than half of it upon your death? The death tax is still the #1 reason family farms and businesses in America aren't passed down to the next generation. It's a wrong tax at the wrong time, and it hurts the wrong people. The death tax destroys jobs, lowering employment in America by 1.5 million jobs. Ending the death tax would actually give our economy a boost, a $119 billion boost, according to economic studies. And the good news is Congress could double its current revenue from the death tax by simply repealing it. The death tax is consistently ranked as the least fair and most unpopular tax in America. The vast majority of Americans believe the estate tax should be repealed, and I'm leading a bipartisan effort to bury it once and forever. Why should Uncle Sam be the first in line with his hand out when a loved one passes? In my 11 counties in southeast Texas, I have a lot of small businesses, farmers, and ranchers who worry about this tax, and I want to give them certainty and peace of mind. Supporters in our effort to finally and permanently repeal the death tax include the American Family Business Institute, the American Farm Bureau Federation, National Federation of Independent Business, the Texas Farm Bureau Policy and Taxation Group, and 60 Plus Association. And I'm proud to work with co-sponsors, Republicans and Democrats alike, like Mike Ross of Arkansas, Dan Bourne of Oklahoma, Kristi Noem of South Dakota, and Devin Nunes of California. They are joining with me. Together we're fighting for families like Jay Snook, who lives near the Trinity River in my southeast Texas district. We've joined together to introduce the Death Tax Repeal Act of 2011, which finally permanently ends the death tax in America.
I'm Jay Snook from Livingston, Texas, and this is in Polk County, and this is about 75 miles north of Houston. I'm a rancher, and we raise cattle for replacement and also for the market, and we have timber and manage a lot of timber property. First of all, we want total repeal of the death tax. On this particular property that we stand right now, we've paid death tax 3 times on it. We were able to plan for it in the past and was able to take care of it without going in debt too far. This last time that one of our family members died, we had to go in debt for a few years, but we finally come out of it. If we don't get something done, we're not going to be able to stay on the farm here in Livingston. It's going to affect the middle class people more than it affects anybody. Your Bill Gates and people like this, they're able to pay lawyers, pay tax experts to be able to set up trusts and be able to get around the system. Us as small landowners, middle class people, we do not have the revenue, we do not have the funds to be able to invest in lawyers. So it'll hurt us worse than it'll hurt anybody else out there. And if we get total repeal, we'll have the funds available to where we can expand our cattle business, expand our timber business, and we'll be able to buy a new tractor like we have back in the back. Got to keep people working that makes these tractors, and like I said, we need to maybe employ a couple more employees and just expand our operation if we could. This land that we're standing on right here has been in the family since 1917. We've paid death tax 3 times on it, and like I said a while ago, we were able to pay it for the first 2 times. The second time we had a little problem we had to kind of go in debt on. And when we die, my wife and I, and we leave it to our children, it's an uncertainty there, and it's very likely that they're going to have to eliminate and sell some of the land that we have just to be able to pay the taxes on it. We have 1 tract of land up north of Polk County that's been in the family since 1871. We've been fortunate enough to be able to hang on to it, and hopefully if we have to get rid of any lands, maybe we'll be able to save it for sure.
I'm Mac Ross from Livingston, Texas. This is my wife Wendy Ross, Taylor Ross, and Cody Ross. We're ranchers, and we also grow timber. The biggest thing is we work day in, day out so that we can pass something on to our kids, and with this death tax, at the end of the day, you don't know if you'll be able to. So they don't understand it yet, but unfortunately, they're going to figure it out one of these days. So we don't want them to have to mess with it. We don't want them to even have to fool with it at all. So if we could just get it repealed, it would be great.
I have a job in town. Mac works here at the farm, and that's really the only income that we have. Back to what our kids think. Cody has expressed interest in working the farm, and we, you know, part of us wants to say, great, that's exactly what you need to do because it's going to be just like this. And then part of us say, you know what, you probably need to go to college, get another job, because if the death tax continues, you're not going to have anything to run. And so, you know, we've discussed that a lot as a family because we want to make sure that if he does indeed want to do this when he grows up, that it's going to be here for him. And it's not fair that it could be taken away. We know several families that are in the same position that we're in, and they've already started planning on what's going to happen after they pass away and part of their land, how it's going to be run. And I mean, it's a hot topic. Every time you get around other farmers or ranchers, that's what we discuss. If you take our farms and our ranches away, we have 98% of all the products that go into the market, and you're talking about family farms, and if you start taking those out, then who's going to have the food that's in the grocery store? The food doesn't just automatically show up at the grocery store. A farmer and a rancher has to get that to the grocery store, and so people in large cities don't understand that it's the farmers and the ranchers who get those products onto the market.
This is my wife, Patricia. She's been retired for 4 or 5 years, so she's my bookkeeper and my bill payer for me.
The only thing I would like to say is when my grandfather bought this land back in the early 1920s, he instilled in his 2 sons that if we took care of the land, then the land would take care of us. And so then that was instilled with me. Even though I was a girl, it was important to me and my family, and then we've tried to instill that into our children, that if we take care of what God gave us, then He'll take care of us also. And with the estate tax, if we could get total repeal, then we could plan for the future of our grandchildren, and that's what's really important to us.
My name is Kevin Snook, and this is my wife Diana. And this is my 6-year-old son Dylan, and my 3.5-year-old Ryan. And I just want to say, I don't work on the farm all the time, but this is my family's land. And my grandfather, before he died and left us, he said the one thing he did not want us to do is to sell the land. He said if you always had the land in the family, that it would always help you through. And with this death tax and with the money that we will have to put forth with that, I'm gonna have to back out on that promise. And that's a promise I don't want to back out on. I can remember as a kid coming down here with my grandfather and just experiencing the life that he was leading at that time, and I want my kids to do the same thing. And so, you know, if we can just have a heart, have an understanding of us that are, you know, in the middle class and the classes that don't have the excessive money, and just help to do away with this death tax so we can continue with this dream of producing cattle and forestry for our families.
Hi, my name is Taylor Ross, and I'm a 5th generation farmer, and I'm pleased to repeal the death tax.
Very good.
My name is Bill Bergman. I live in Livingston, Texas. That's in Polk County. I sell tractors here in and around the Polk County area, and farm equipment, hay equipment, and other various products for the agriculture industry. We have 9 employees. They'd be unemployed because when you pass it on, it would take all the liquid I have to keep it afloat. That would be going to the government. To pass it on, it would kill the business. It's not a good business plan.
How many employees do you have?
With the death tax on their side, I have a small ranch myself. But on their side, they can't get new equipment because they're having to plan to what they have to. They can't buy the tractor for paying taxes. And whether you know, some people say they need it, or some people say they want it. And there's two different ideas on that. Operation like we're here today, they need bigger tractors. I know they've got some smaller, older ones, and they talk to me about trading in, but they can't because it's so unsure of what's going to happen. This is only good through 12, and then where are we going from there? You need to just kill this. You just completely repeal it. It's stupid. It's double dipping. It's. I don't see how it's right.